Hey, we're live.
Hello, everybody.
So anyway, we'll wait for some people to come up and join us here. This is unscheduled as usual, but Mark and I did a video yesterday, and we want to get together more often and do this kind of stuff. So anyway, I thought we would kind of review 2020, find out how you guys are doing, and we'll let Mark kind of start off by. What's your review of 2020? How was it? Good, bad?
I'm almost embarrassed to say that I had a great year. I mean, I met my girlfriend. I found a new apartment. I started my YouTube channel, which is doing well. You know, health is good. It was basically a good year, aside from the, inconvenience of the quarantines and the roadblocks and stuff, which are really minimal here compared to what's going on in other countries. But for me, it was a good year,
Yeah.
And also, nobody in my family, my family lives all over America, like Minnesota, Florida, Alabama, and Kentucky, and nobody has gotten the virus. No one's sick. So, that's a good thing too.
Awesome.
How about you?
I can pretty much mirror that. I think the saving grace for me and myself was having a YouTube channel.
Yeah, me too.
Because it kept us occupied.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, I got a bunch of new subscribers and a bunch of new viewers.
So did I.
Because guys were bored.
Yeah.
They got tired of watching reruns of Matlock and stuff.
Yeah.
And so they jumped on the channel. So that was cool. Made a lot of new friends. And again, I feel almost guilty because Dumageddon was, even though it had its blips, they had certain days that you could go to a store.
Right.
You had to wear this. You had to have a pass. You got hassled at these little checkpoint things for no reason. But it's just minor compared to the misery that I know other guys went through. So,
right.
God
it only
bless
lasted
you.
for a couple months too,
Right. So what do you guys think, or what do you think about 2021 going into it? You got any predictions, words of wisdom?
I think
dirty jokes.
Well, I think America's got some real problems to deal with. With the pandemic and the political strife that's going on there, which we won't get into. But I just think there's a lot of things that need to be sorted out in America, and it's unusual too. It's almost like you're looking at this country from the outside. It gives you a whole different point of view than when you're actually living in America and you're getting your information from YouTube or the news or whatever. And I see what's going on there, and a lot of it is shocking. And I'm just glad that I'm here. And I think there's just a long way to go. And I think the rest of the world's got problems too. So we're very fortunate here. I do hope that they get the vaccine out here in the Philippines. Someone told me, or someone responded to our chat the other day on my channel and they said that it was going to be over a year before they got around to, vaccinating guys like us. And for me, I'm not going to go into the theories, the conspiracy theories about whether it's good or bad, the vaccine, or what there's some kind of evil plot and it's all done by aliens. But for me, it's like I just want to see my daughters. I want to go back to America to visit, visit my family. And so whatever the risks are, I'm willing to take it,
Sure.
As far as the vaccine. But I just hope I get the opportunity, even if I have to pay for it.
The only concern I have is if I leave is coming back.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, because I just can't. This is my life here.
Yeah,
this is my family.
Yeah.
Baby May's my woman, and this is my apartment,
Yeah.
and this is where I live. This is home.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, me too.
So there you go. And so I got a message the other day from my stepmom that my dad's, kind of taking a turn for the worse, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's sick. She's 5 years my elder.
Mm-hmm.
She's not feeling good. Everybody's sort of sick. And it's just one of those nudges that, we need to get back there.
Yeah.
And see people.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully they'll get this thing rolled out. And again, I know that if I think in a few days, the 15th, they're going to resume, they're going to resume bus service to Cebu. And so we'll be able to get on a bus and go to Cebu. I don't know about a plane, but at least we can get to Cebu. If we get to Cebu, we can get to an airport. If we get to the airport, we can get home.
Why can't you fly to Dumageddon?
They're not flying.
Oh, they're not flying at all?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not flying. So, but that'll change.
Have you looked into the cost of flights at all? I'm just curious about because I know there were some expats here from Brazil that were vloggers like us, young couple, and they got stuck here in the Philippines. And when they tried to fly home to Brazil from Manila to Rio, it was like $10,000-$15,000 a ticket. And one of my tutors, or one of my students on Campbell, he's a doctor, and she's living in Canada, and she has 2 young children. She was trying to fly from Canada back to China, and she was paying $7,000 a ticket, even for the children.
No.
So I'm just wondering, didn't AJ pay a lot of money?
I don't think AJ paid that much money. I think he paid like $1,000, between $1,000 and $2,000, because I don't remember. It was a little heavy. But Gio said that he found a flight for $600.
Yeah, that's what I paid to get here.
But he canceled it because they changed the rules. He couldn't leave because he couldn't get from Dumaguete to Cebu. And so,
so he's still here?
Yeah. So he's still here.
Wow.
And so he's, I saw him a couple days ago, and he's going to try to sell his motorbike. He's kind of getting amped up to go. He's got stuff to do too. Everybody's got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Most guys, I shouldn't say most, but some of the guys that I know just annually go home.
Yeah.
And some guys, I think the best scenario are guys that were set up financially, or they either have a residence there, or they have like a sister that owns a home that they get along with, etc. And these guys go home for 3 or 4 months. My friend Ed likes to fish, so he goes home and during fishing season, and he goes fishing for 3 or 4 months, and then comes back here for 8 months. So
nice.
That's just kind
also
of
taxes. A lot of people go back for.
Yeah.
What do you do for your taxes? You do it here or online, or what do you?
Well, I've always done my own taxes. Except for when I had the real estate business, but I've always done my own taxes for the most part. I've always done them online. And I've always used a tax website from the IRS. Actually.
Yeah, I did too. I used the same one. Yeah. I think you have to make over $70,000 when you can't use that. Like it's free unless you make.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I believe it's like that.
There's no worries there.
No. We put our money together, we wouldn't be there.
So I actually do have to file taxes for the first time in 3 years. So
yeah,
I don't know. I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it.
You think we'll get a 1099 for our YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you able to get your mail, like you said?
Well, my ex-wife gets my mail, and her and I are still on, speaking terms because we have kids together. So we keep the dialogue. We're not enemies or anything.
Yeah, same with my ex-wife.
Water under the bridge. So she's cool. Yeah. She gets my mail. In fact, when I needed my little Google number, she got it. She took a picture of it and sent it to me. Stuff like that. So she'll help me out. And that's that. But
Fisher sent you a super sticker.
Yeah.
Nice of you. Thank you so much.
So what was I talking about? But during the whole pandemic deal, I didn't have that rough of a time. There was about a week where we couldn't get into any stores, and we were kind of like running low on supplies.
Well, there was also the time when they said that if you're over 65, you couldn't go out.
That's right.
To stay in.
That's right.
And I went down to Hypermart one day, and they were literally checking IDs and turning people away, which I'd never seen that before. But I think there was a big stink about that, and enough people complained where, they rescinded that or they quit enforcing it. But technically, I think even now we're not supposed to really be out.
I'm just going to go through real quick. I'm just going to go through the comments. We're not going to spend a lot of time yapping at people. Yeah. But I just want to acknowledge you. Thank you for the comments, guys. Yeah. Okay. We're seeing them. I want to put them up on the screen, but we could spend the whole stream just saying hi to everybody. And that gets kind of old for everybody involved. So, okay. I have a dirty joke. I will read this one. What's the difference between a hockey player and a hippie? A hockey player showers after 3 periods. You know what? I think that comedy acts and comedians are the last hope for free speech because a comedian can come out and talk about something that's totally off the hook, and just very offensive. But since it's a joke, it's not coming from the heart. It's just meant to be funny.
Yeah, you know, the thing
And
is,
so-
though, it's like it's with the censorship now and the politically correct. And, you know, just think of like if a show like All in the Family came on came on
Wouldn't
now,
work.
it would be shut down and people be complaining. Think of the things that Archie Bunker said about black people, about Native Americans. I mean, you name it. And it was like he was portraying a bigot, but who's also a nice guy. So there's conflicting things there. But
Yeah.
you could never do that today.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yeah. Baby May's nickname is Edith because she reminds me of Edith
yeah,
from the Archie Bunker
yeah,
show,
yeah.
from All in the Family.
Mhm.
And because whenever I get upset or pissed off, she just comes around the corner and goes, "You want coffee?" You know? And she knows that settles me down. That's what Edith used to do.
Yeah.
But I just hold out that the comedians can be politically incorrect. I can't remember his name, but I just saw a black comedian. I like to start my day with little comedy skits. And he was making fun of the Black Lives Matter thing, which would really light somebody on fire.
Yeah.
But he was black, playing to a black audience, and they were crying, laughing because it was in jest.
Yeah.
It was a joke, you know? So that's kind of like my only hope anymore. The news I've given up on, the 24-hour news cycle and all that hoo-ha, it's just opinions. It's not
Yeah,
news.
we get it like a day late anyway.
And we get it a day late.
One of these days we're gonna turn on the YouTube news and it's gonna say, yeah, a meteor is heading towards Earth and it's gonna blow us up at 3:00 on Friday, and you go, fuck, it's 2:35. I don't even have time to change my shirt.
Unbelievable. Hey, let me turn that light on real quick. Keep everybody entertained there, Mark.
Yeah, Paul's got all this fancy equipment, like, you know, he's got this really cool microphone. Check that out. Howard Stern's got a mic like that.
Really?
Yeah. Joe Rogan.
Hey, Howard Stern got nothing on the old dog channel.
Yeah. Got this fancy lighting here.
Hey, thanks, guys. So anyway, moving forward, you want to go home.
Yeah.
What else you got on the radar?
I'm still, you know, fooling around with my idea about buying a cruise ship. You know, I just
Let's talk about that for a minute.
yeah, I've told people before there's 50 cruise ships here in the Philippines for sale. One of them is the Holland America Mazdan, which I actually worked on. Beautiful ship. If you went to have that ship built, it would probably cost you around $300-400 million. And right now it's sitting there being offered up $50 million, and with they'll accept offers. And all the crew that worked on that ship are here in the Philippines, or most of them are here in the Philippines. So I've been hoping to start a Filipino cruise line, you know, that sails only within the Philippines, crewed by mostly Filipinos, and never leaves Philippine waters. And I think it would do a lot for the country. And so I'm working on that with a few friends of mine, you know, and we've sent off proposals. We're trying to get the government to at least, not to put any money in, but to at least say that they like the idea and they'll cut through the red tape, because that's the problem with the Philippines here. There's a lot of bureaucracy, and like just getting a driver's license can take forever. So you can imagine starting a cruise line, the red tape that would be there. But if we had the government say in advance, we back this idea, we like this idea, and we're going to smooth the rails for you, so to speak, that would make it easier to get financing.
Mm-hmm. So you're still ambitious. You still like to work.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you know, people give us, like Thomas here that owns this complex, gives us both shit about, oh, you know, why aren't you sitting on your porch and just relax and enjoying your life? And I don't want to do that. I mean, my YouTube channel keeps me busy, but I mean, if I have an opportunity to start another business, you know, I don't care about my age. I'm going to do it anyway, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm one of those porch sitters.
You got a nice porch, though, don't you? That's my favorite thing about living here is that porch.
I was going to set this up on the porch, but the lady came in to clean.
Well, the problem is that the lighting's not
and the
good
light's
enough.
going to be weird.
It's too bright.
Too
It's
bright.
Yeah, you got to do it at night, like 5:30 is best.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Fisher. I do too. You know, it's overdue, man. This little COVID thing just kind of. Let's see, what do we got going on here? What is happening here? Here I am. Oh well, thanks. I haven't watched a football game and I don't know how
Me
long.
neither.
Good Lord, I missed that.
Yeah.
I love watching football. I know we could get VPNs and we can buy these whiz bang channels and stuff, but I just can't get into it.
Well, it's not the same without the crowds too. You know, I mean,
it's not.
I watch UFC, and I kind of quit watching the fights because we just have this silence, these two guys fighting, and it's just like, I just kind of lost interest in it.
Yeah, I don't know. Just sports in general without the fans being there, and it's just
think of the money that's been lost.
My God,
the concessionaires and all the different things that are supported by, like you said, big basketball or baseball game.
Man.
I mean, just millions and millions of dollars lost.
Unreal. I hope this vaccine works. Let's see, what's this guy say? Paul, thanks for coming along, buddy. Vaccine being rolled out in the UK. The aim is 2 million a week, which seems unrealistic. Ultimately, a late autumn. I agree with you. I think that I don't think anybody's dropping the ball per se. I think that they're trying to get it out at the
UK's doing a good job. My daughter's lived there.
You know, but you know, shit happens, and so you got to figure it's human beings trying to do it. The logistics have got to be just crazy.
Not like that, but it's like you got to vaccinate everybody twice. You get a shot, you got to get another one 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And we were talking the other day on my channel how up there by the Japanese shrine, these little tiny nipa huts tucked into the forest there in the jungle. I mean, I think a lot of these people, they were probably born at home. They probably don't even have any kind of ID or documentation or anything. They just
don't
live off, the land and the jungle and come into town when they can. But you don't even know they exist, let alone to vaccinate them.
Correct.
So I don't know how they're going to do it here, but.
Yeah, there's no addresses
no addresses
out here. I can't speak for all of the Philippines.
Yeah.
Maybe Manila does. Maybe Cebu does. I don't know.
My girlfriend's house, there's no address there.
No. We don't really have an address here.
No, we just have the name of the place.
We just have the name of the place.
Yeah.
So I try to take these. Well, thank you very much, Fisher. We appreciate that. It goes to the coffee this afternoon. Let's see. They're going to charge where they can get to make up for love during get ready. It's coming.
I think so too. They always
think
do
so?
That. Yeah, they always do that.
Yeah. Bunch of people traveled over Christmas.
Yeah, apparently next week is when, if they say about a huge surge in cases, it'll be next week because it's usually a 2-week incubation. So we'll see what happens there. I hope they're wrong.
Yeah. So let's see, you two make a great team, bouncing ideas off each other's mouths. Yeah, we are a good team. We like each other. We both have the same sense of humor, and we both have a very, what's the word? I mean, we're different, but we don't care. You know what I mean? It's like we have different viewpoints on different things, but that doesn't interfere.
Yeah, we can share a viewpoint. Like I think, I say I believe this, Paul said he believes that, but we don't argue about it. We say, okay, that's fine. That's your, we have so many more things in common than we do. And because both of us who at one time in my life, I was in the car business for a while. You were in the car business for a while. You were from Vegas. I used to go to Vegas all the time.
Right. At the end of the day, we're all just human beings. And everybody puts their pants on the same. And an opinion should be something that's discussed, not argued.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And I learn. And I have actually, if someone can give me not an argument, but if they can give me like I was talking about Dave the other day, he was talking about monthly income, every day. And he actually made he made me think that maybe I was thinking wrong. And I started to rethink my thinking. So I enjoy that kind of dialogue.
Well, the thing about you that I like, Paul, is like when we have a comment, like we were talking about politics, which we're not going to go into now, but I was telling you my opinion about something, and you sit there and you listen. Like some people, they sit there and just wait to jump in and argue with you or prove that you're wrong or find a way to prove you're wrong. And you just listen to what I had to say, and then I listened to what you had to say, and then we moved on to something else.
Did you say something? I wasn't listening.
But
no, that's true. I mean, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. And so I like hanging out with guys like Mark. They're kind of far and few between, but the reason why is that you can learn something by listening to the other side. And not everybody's 100% right. Not everybody's 100% wrong. You can always take something away. And if nothing else, it tells you about a guy's character or his passion or whatnot. Like Mark, you like working.
Yeah,
you like to make more money and that kind of stuff. And me, I'm a little more on the lazy side, I guess, or just content or whatever. I'm just kind of happy with where I'm at. But there's no right or wrong behind that.
I like to stay busy, put it that way.
I understand. Because what it boils down to, at the end of the day, I think you'll agree with this, is purpose.
Yeah.
What is a man's purpose when he wakes up? You find purpose with looking for endeavors and money-making opportunities or investments and things like that. So when you wake up, you have a reason for being there. I wake up, I have a reason for being here too. It just happens to vary from yours. But at the end of the day, we both have the same thing going on. We have a purpose.
The thing is, we're doing what we want to do.
That's right.
It's one thing getting up in the morning and going to some job you hate, which we've both been there.
That's
and
the key.
It's different. Like I wake up and I'm excited to go meet this guy, like, you know, and go to his sailboat and hear about his life. And I'm excited about that. I'm having fun. I would be doing it if I wasn't making any money at it.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the cruise ship thing. You know, I'm having fun with this big fantasy idea about starting my own cruise line. And it may never happen, but it's fun. I'm having fun doing it.
It's fun. Yeah. Like you turned me on to that little website thingy to invest money in, right?
Yeah, Robinhood.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to invest, and I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to put 100 in this, 100 in that, 100 here, 100 there, and just something that I can afford to lose.
Yeah.
And I was going to do a video. I still am, about guys opening businesses out here. I really want to talk about that. And I've had a hard time making the video. I keep putting it off because I don't want to name names. And if I get too descriptive, people are going to know who I'm talking about. And I'm not here to disparage anybody.
But we know a lot of people who are suffering right now. I know a really sweet guy that I interviewed on my channel, Rafe, who basically lost his business, his spice.
Right.
And he put a lot of money in it, millions of pesos. And it's not the first business he's lost here. He had another one that was basically stolen from him in Subic Bay like several years ago. So guys that say, I want to come over here, like a guy today sent me a message, said, I want to come over there and open a bar like Cheers, the TV show. I said, man, don't do it. I mean, it's just, you have to, if you're going to cater to the expat community, there's not that many of us left anymore. We're like a dying breed over here because right now nobody's coming here. So if you're going to have a business that's going to cater to guys like us, there ain't that many of us over here.
No.
There's really not,
No. What one business that I really enjoyed doing an interview with one of the owners, and doing a little walk around, is called Shelter, and that's 5 or 6 Filipinas, with 5 or 6 of their, I'm going to say 5 of their boyfriends, each kicked in like $300 or $400, and they opened it up, and it's more or less a clubhouse for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they pay this much per month for rent. They pay this much per month for electricity and all that hoo-ha. They serve beers and they serve food. It gives the women, again, purpose and something to do. It gives the guys a place to gather and hang out other than their own places. If it makes money, fine. If it doesn't make money, okay. Because they don't have a lot of skin in the game. Again, if you and me and 3 other guys opened up a little chicken shack for May and Jen to work at, for example, no big deal. It's no skin off of our nose. It's not a big thing. But it's these guys like, what's his name? The Spice guy?
Oh, Rafe.
Ray. He put millions into
it
and then lost it. That's
it was a really nice place. It happened to him before too. It's the second time. So, and even in America, a bar or restaurant is a really tough business. There's so much competition. There's so many bars here, so many restaurants. I mean,
brutal.
It's hard to make a living doing that. I'll tell you on another subject. We were talking the other day about health insurance and what happens if you have an accident. One of my subscribers, because he watched you and I, had an idea, and I think it's really a good one, is some kind of a bracelet that would have on there 5,000 peso reward, if you get me to the hospital, whatever, if you're unconscious.
It's funny. I read that comment this morning.
Yeah.
Because I was reading the comments. And I think that is one of the smartest ideas.
Yeah.
And I think that would be
not
a business, but it's something that I'm thinking I'll do. I'll get a bracelet made up.
That's $100, right? So I'd pay $100 for me to give you the hospital.
But your name, your phone number, contact information, like a dog tag thing.
But also like that they get money, for taking care of you.
A little reward if you get me down to the hospital.
Yeah.
That is an awesome idea. Yeah. What we're talking about, in case you guys, just to bring you up to speed, is if you crash, we're going to use an example. If I crash my motorbike and I'm by myself and it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm laying in the street, they don't have 911
No.
here.
And you're
okay?
if you're unconscious.
And
yeah.
you're unconscious.
Yeah.
So we're worst case scenario here. And we know guys that have laid in the road for hours on end and before somebody came along and helped them, some good Samaritan. And they have an ambulance, but it's really just kind of like a truck that they throw you in there. It's not, doesn't have any medical supplies.
They're probably going to take you to the worst hospital.
And they're just going to take you
Yeah.
to a local hospital where you just may or may not lay in the hallway for a while. And you could be severely injured. So the idea was to have a bracelet. And now that I'm speaking out loud, probably should be in both languages. I don't know, but I guess English, but a reward to call this number or to get you to a doctor.
Yeah, it's something else. Let's say you had a stroke.
Like a dog tag.
And you couldn't communicate, but you're still conscious. Time is of the essence. If you have a stroke,
right,
and they get you to the hospital within, say, a couple of hours, there's medicine they can give you where basically reverse the whole thing and save you. But if you just land there and you're unable to do anything, then it gets worse and worse, and you can't recover from it.
Hey, I want to hit this comment here. Perry Mark. Hey, Perry Mark, what are you doing, buddy? There are tickets advertised on Cheapo Air from Seattle to Cebu for the $500 to $700 range, late March. So that's good.
That's good.
I predicted, and all my predictions have been 100% failure. I'm batting 1,000 on not being right. But most folks have said that, I've said that I think July, because the only reason I say that is Qantas Airlines in Australia said they're going to resume flights in July. So I figured if they're doing it, they know something I don't, and it will. I think 6 months is a fair timeline.
Well, if he's right about that,
and all that good stuff.
If he's right about that from Seattle, that's where the guy that he rented number one, the first apartment down here in the road, and he paid a whole year in advance. When was that? June?
Yeah, and he's got two brand new motorbikes sitting out front.
Those are his. I thought those were Scott's.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, those are Scott's.
Oh, okay.
Scott parks those there.
My mistake.
Yeah.
See, I learn something every day. Elvis Hound Dog, thank you, brother. We appreciate you. We'll go out for coffee on you.
I knew Elvis was alive.
Yeah.
I felt it in my heart.
I know. He ain't nothing but a hound dog. Oh, here we're getting the football score.
It was exciting game.
Sanford and Sons. Yeah. All those shows that were so funny and so good and just so true to life. It's just sad that again, I think comedy is our last hope. Those were the days.
I think Seinfeld is one of the funniest shows that's ever been on TV.
Absolutely, positively. Yeah. Yep. Jackie Gleason.
Yeah. Remember when Ed Norton had the fishbowl in his head? He was great.
And even the benign shows like Leave It to Beaver would not make it because of the subservient way the wife was treated, if you will. The father kind of ruled the house and he made the decisions and all that kind of stuff. That would never fly. What do you, an artist without a girlfriend? I don't understand that. I don't know what that means.
Homeless.
Is that okay?
It's a joke.
Baby May. Yeah, Baby May, by the way, just hit 5,000 subscribers. So thank you guys very, very much. And we just did she has a video that's up and running. And where her and I are chatting and we're talking and we're thinking. And I'm doing an experiment on that. I'm experimenting on getting likes. And even if you don't like it, I'm going to ask you if you watch that video to like it, because I just want to see if it helps the algorithm. I was told it did. And so I ran an experiment on a couple of videos way back when, 2 or 3 videos ago, where I asked people to subscribe because I never asked people to subscribe. But I did that time. And I got 45 extra subscribers, more than normal. So it does work. But I won't do it again because I like my channel right where it's at. But on Baby May's, I'm really pushing to get hers up and running because that's, according to her, and I agree with her, that's her future.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to work, and she loves it.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome that she loves what she does. And I think your girlfriend
Yeah,
too
Jen loves it.
is doing a great job with the interviews.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of our girls because they took the bull by the horn. They started their own little companies called YouTube, and they work them, and they're making an income.
Yeah, and English is, remember, their second language.
That's
so can
right.
you imagine us trying to do a YouTube channel like Spanish or something? I mean, it would be a disaster. So I'm impressed with what both of them have done.
So am I. And I almost have to laugh at some of our haters because they say May is stupid. And it's because she doesn't speak English real well.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, why don't you say that in Tagalog?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
This is the big one. That's right. I'm having the big one. So you guys can put here, because the comments will come in later also, guys. If you guys have anything, Don Rickles, they would put him in jail today. God,
right.
you got so right, man.
And Bill Cosby, they did put him in jail.
Oh, yeah. Why is my water fizzing? That's famous people water. Boston is shut down. God dang.
Oh, no.
Unbelievable. Unreal.
It's a great town, too.
Let's see. I got lost here. Oh, Joan Rivers. Yeah. I like Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was, she was one of those broads that could hang with the fellas.
I want to tell you, Joan Rivers. I got a Joan Rivers story for you.
Okay.
Me and my ex-wife were walking down the street in New York City one day, and it was a cold day, and we just had like light clothing on. It got colder as the day went on, so we went into some store and bought 2 cheap sweatshirts, like this gray old sweatshirts, and put those on. We're walking down the street. Some guy comes running up to us and said, hey, would you like to introduce the Joan Rivers show? And I said, yeah, sure. So we went over there, had the camera set up and everything, and me and Julie stood there and we said, live from New York, it's a Joan Rivers show.
No kidding.
And the only reason is because we looked like 2 dorks, two stupid tourists, and they thought we looked funny, but we got to do it. I got to be on TV, so I introduced the Joan Rivers show.
That's awesome.
She didn't even send me a thank you note.
Well,
yeah, we got a T-shirt or something.
The roller skating rink idea. What's he talking about? That's your deal.
Yeah, I owned a roller skating rink for 15 years in St. George, Utah. It was a cash business. The problem is nowadays every time a kid falls down, you get sued. But I had an idea before I moved to St. George and bought this skating rink there. It was 18,000 square foot rink. I had an idea in Hawaii. In Hawaii, there's no roller skating rinks at all, 0. And a friend of mine back in the 1950s had a roller skating rink that was a touring, like a circus. He had a circus tent, and he would go from place to place around, small towns in America. And the rink, it all fit together, like it's called coffin locks, where you put 2 platforms together, you have a key and you lock them together. So it's real easy to put this thing together. Then he rented skates, had a mobile sound system and everything. And he made a fortune. And I found out I could get these tents in Hawaii, and it was going to cost me like $2,000 a month to rent a tent that was 20,000 square feet and had no supports in the middle. So there's no beams. It's all like self-supporting. And then I thought you could put it up in the parking lot of like a Walmart or whatever, install it, put it up the skating floor, the sound system, everything, and rent the skates out and just tour around the islands, from place to place. And I think kids would love it.
Yeah.
And, make, $10 a head, whatever.
But that didn't happen.
No, I ended up buying the one in St. George.
I miss George Carlin too.
Yeah. He was not so much a comedian as a satirist, really.
Yeah. But I like these guys because they would just speak about things that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. I remember watching Eddie Murphy Raw when it first came out on video. And I was
in the red jumpsuit?
Yeah, in the red jump. And I literally, we were watching on video on a ship, and I was laughing so hard I was in pain. I mean, my stomach was hurting. I had to actually stop it and leave the room because it was hurting so much.
You remember listening to Richard Pryor records?
Oh, yeah.
Richard Pryor, how would he go over these days?
Yeah.
Mom, cannot be a long flight for you. Yeah,
Edward, I remember you the other day. We were talking about, he was telling me all kinds of investment things.
Cool. We have some very smart people that
We do, yeah.
that
Edward had a lot of
are
good
friends.
ideas.
Let's see. I missed this guy. One thing I saw from a previous chat, I thought it was interesting. You can use Medicare in Guam. Yeah,
That's
that
true.
seems like it could be an alternative. Yeah, a guy asked if I had Part B, which I do.
You know, that's a really interesting thing too. How far is Guam from here?
I don't know.
I think it's like 2 or 3 hours.
I don't know. I do know my friend Wayne got cancer and he went to Hawaii. So, you know, are you retired or working hard? Well, I don't think Mark works hard.
No.
He's retired, but he's working his passion. So I always say, follow your dream, you know, find your bliss and go with it. And so when you're retired, I think what the biggest misnomer for guys, or the biggest drawback for guys, is they used to be large and in charge. You know, they used to go into the office and they used to order everybody around, and everybody called them sir, and somebody brought them their coffee. And now they're sitting in their backyard with nobody to yell at.
Yeah.
And they're no longer large, they're no longer in charge, and they lose their sense of identity, if you will.
Well, that's a problem. If your job is your identity, you've got a problem to begin with. Your job
correct.
cannot be your identity. Your profession cannot be your identity.
How much money you have cannot be your identity.
That's right. That's right.
You know, being broke doesn't make you stupid. Being poor does not make you bad.
No.
It's okay. And so I think a lot of guys have a tough time adjusting. In fact, I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, that a large number of guys were dying up to 1 year after they retired.
Yeah, I've heard that.
They just got depressed and their health went down. And so I don't give advice, but if I was, I would tell you, if you're going to retire, make sure you got some sort of
hobbies,
you know?
charity, something. You know,
Something.
do something. You know, I get these
reason to wake up in the morning.
I'm sure you get them too, but I get these emails from guys, you know, all over, and they say, and they're financially set. I mean, they just sold their house, they got $1 million in the bank, they got this, they're in good health, they're, you know, they decide whether to get their Social Security at 62 or at 70, and they're not happy. They're going, I just don't know what to do. You know, I'm just not happy. And I said, you know, you've got options. You know, you can do whatever the hell you want. You know.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you had a ton of money, we were talking about this on your video the other day. I was thinking about that, and I thought, you know, I would still live very small.
Oh, me too.
I wouldn't get a big house, and I wouldn't buy a big boat and buy a big fancy Mercedes and all that. Even if I could pay cash for it, it didn't touch me.
I'd buy a cool car.
Okay. All right. The one thing that I think I would treat myself to is flying private, because I hate airports.
No, I do too.
So I think that would be the one thing. If I was going to blow money, it would be on getting around the nonsense at the airports. Can't stand it. Let's see. Cardboard cutouts for crowds here and pipes. That's for the ball games.
Or mannequins.
So I'm just going to cruise through these here, guys. No.
Haven't heard anything about
our knowledge, or my knowledge, I won't speak for Mark. I haven't heard word one about a friggin' vaccine out
there. And the thing is, Duarte said the children can't go back to school until there's a vaccine. And so they've been out for like a year now. And so these kids just run around with no education. They're not working online here. And so they need to do something.
They do modules. And I seen them line up at the school over here. And they were all getting their little packets of stuff.
Oh.
And here's the deal, though.
Didn't know about that.
Here's kids getting packets of homework, taking it home, and I'm not being disparaging here, to uneducated parents that don't know how to do math, that don't know how to do sentence structure, and they're just flailing away. So
there's no law you have to send your kids to school here. Like, you know,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you can't afford to send your kids to school, they just don't go to school. You know.
Oh, that's true. In the States, you're
it's a law.
Yeah, it's a law. That's right. Update on vaccine in the Philippines. Here we go. If they don't get it yet, the vaccine or plan to get it, this is going to be a problem for tourists to return. Yeah, well, that's what we were saying is I have a tough time leaving, not because of leaving. I think I could bug out of here.
Oh, yeah.
The 15th, if I wanted to. I could take a bus up to Cebu. I could chill out for a couple of days, I guess, get a flight, whatever, and then go home. But coming back, that's the thing. I don't want to be gone for 3 months.
Can you imagine wearing a mask and a face shield the whole way home?
You know, AJ thought he was going to have to do that.
I thought you did.
And no, he said that once he got on, he just had to have a man. They had to go through that whole routine to get on the plane.
Yeah.
It's like going into Robinson's.
Right.
You know, you got to go through the optics of, okay, I got all this stuff. And then you go in, and even the cashiers and the workers have got their thing up and the mask down. And you got to breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe through those.
You're supposed to go no more than 20 minutes in a mask. So let's see. The generation will understand a lot of influence and change from their perspective. The virus is an interesting challenge. I agree with everything that you're saying there.
Yeah.
Here's Jim Burns, my buddy. Think about it, because and Social Security goes away. I have no fear of that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think that's the most rock solid thing.
I don't depend on my Social
now.
Security anymore. I did when I got here. I mean, but now I don't.
Well, I still do.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't have any fears of that.
Yeah, I don't
There
either.
would be, talk about chaos.
Yeah.
You don't want a bunch of old people down there.
I think that's the last thing the Democrats are going to do is take away your Social Security. If anything, they'll double it.
They'll. Oh yeah, I agree, Elvis. Social Security is it's just too hot an issue.
I think it'll go the other way.
Hey, China Dave, we gave you a shout out the other day. Maybe May did, because she loves you so much, and all your nice comments and all the nice things that you say. So on her video, you got a shout out, dude. Let's see. Omega Man, I can't wait to retire and get off the hamster wheel. Amen to that. You know what? The other day, I woke up sleepy. Have you ever had that happen?
Yep.
Okay. It was like maybe the third time in my life that happened. I slept all night. I woke up and I was sleepy. So I don't know if I didn't dream good or whatever. And you know what? I just slept all day. And it was the greatest feeling not to have to be anywhere or go anywhere. And May and I had made plans. We were going to go to some resort thing. And I told her, I said, I don't feel like going. She's like, okay, we'll go another time. And one time I was in hurry up mode when I first got here. And I was trying to find Apple Island or something like that.
Yeah, Apple Island, yeah.
And I couldn't find the entrance to it. And I was with somebody else. It was with another girl before May came along. And anyway, I was all mad and all frustrated and got home and was sulking around. And the young lady said to me, she goes, you know what, Paul, Apple Island will be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it just hit me. I said, you're right. I'm still in this crazy hurry up mode. You know, I was new here and I brought that with me from America. So I don't take any medications anymore now that I'm here. No blood pressure, none of that stuff.
That's great.
Yeah. It's just all kind of cured itself. So let's see. No, don't. Well,
she
mail,
won't get it for
buddy,
a while.
it's brutal.
Yeah.
I had an issue with my debit card. I called my bank and they were super cool. They FedExed me a new debit card and it took exactly 1 month. And FedExed.
Wow.
1 month for it to come to me. Now, what's interesting is that I'll order off of Shopee or Amazon, and it gets here in a week or two.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like that. So I don't know.
But
the U.S. Post Office, forget about it.
No, my mother mailed my debit card to me. U.S. Post Office. It got here in 2 months.
Yeah.
So if it's a regular, it will get here though. It will get here.
It'll get here.
It's just going to take time.
But it ain't going to come quick.
No.
Yeah.
Busted. I just got a haircut. Hey.
You're an attractive
I
man.
don't have that Elvis hair that Paul's got. You know.
Mark, you're an attractive man. Don't think I haven't noticed. You work out, don't you?
I
do. Let's see. Just want to thank you for the show. Yes, obviously a show for me now. I really want you to do. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
We appreciate that very much. You know, this is like a labor of love, I guess, for us. We just like to sit here and chat with people and stay in touch with you. And I got to say it again. I know I'm getting repetitive, but during the whole quarantine thing, YouTube was really like my purpose. It was fun. You know, I just started it as a hobby. It's still a hobby, but it got all it just blew up like crazy. And May and I just had fun. We were just answering comments and getting to know new people.
Yeah, when I was doing my tutoring, talking to people around the world, they said they were surviving off YouTube and Netflix.
Yeah.
That's what keeping them, from going crazy.
How's Valencia? Valencia is very rainy.
Yeah, very rainy.
The one downside to where we live here is the ingress and egress road going in and out. May and I went, we didn't go down, but we came close. There is a spot that is just slicker and snot.
Yeah, you have no choice. Like you go here, it's like a big rut. Go there, it's a rut. And there's a lot of rocks in there, and it's it's bad.
Yeah. How about a good steak restaurant with real Alberta beef? You know what? I think that if you're talking about like a business or something out here, I think where most guys drop the ball is they're not present. They open these places up, they spend a lot of money, they advertise, they decorate, they invest, and then they put it in the hands of somebody that they're paying $6 a day to. Yeah. And they don't care whether the employee, I don't mean to disparage them, but they don't care if you buy a steak or your meal or not, because they're still going to make $6.
I've had them take my order and then they have no intention of even putting the order in the kitchen because they didn't understand what I said anyway. So they just walked away and think that eventually the problem will sort itself out magically. And so you see that. And then at the same time, the owner was out there playing his guitar with the band, having a good time and not even checking on whether the food's coming out or what. And I finally got up and left after an hour of not getting my food. And that's common here. Service in restaurants is usually, subpar.
I have found that to be the common denominator in my little small brain is that the guys that are present and are on it and are into it are pretty successful. All right. So I don't want to name names, but there is a place down the street that's been very successful. But the owner and his wife are all over it from morning, noon, and night. There's another guy that's been building restaurants and then selling them. He's on it morning, noon, and night. And then there's the guy, we won't mention his name, that you're mentioning that I'm thinking about also, who he wants to sit down and drink beer with everybody like a customer. Right. And meanwhile, everybody's not getting any service and he's as bad as the employees, if not worse. So, he's definitely going to fail.
I just don't. I tell people I do not recommend opening a business here. Like maybe you're some kind of financial genius or whatever. You got some great idea, but first of all, you're trying to make money from people. If you're going to cater to the Filipinos, you're trying to get money from people who don't have any money to spend. Right. This is a poor country, so I don't see how we're going to make a big profit here.
No, the only business I think that you should open is one that you don't expect to make any money from. It would have to be a hobby.
If you're going to do a business, do it online, something online. Those guys are making money.
Yeah. And like I said, that little shelter place, I will mention that because I did a video about it. They're not in it to make big money. They're just in it to have something to do.
Like a private club,
and they kind of break even, I'm sure. They sell some beer and they sell some food and the rent's cheap and everything else is cheap. They don't even have internet, so they just go hang out. But I talked to a guy that wanted to open up a donut shop, and I told him, I said, if you keep it really small or operate out of your house, maybe. But why would you?
They've got a Dunkin' Donuts, but not here. I saw it in Cebu, I think.
Yeah, you got Sam's Rival you're competing with. You got a lady over here.
Sam's Rival's pretty good, actually.
It really is. And it's not expensive. No. So, I don't know. I wouldn't want to compete.
Thing is, you open a business here, you're going to be tied to that business 24/7.
Exactly.
Why do that? Why, all the stress and everything? I mean, I don't want a business.
I was talking to my friend Stan day before yesterday, and his ex-girlfriend has some rental units just like this. And she was told she needed a business license. And she's local. She speaks the language. She knows people. She's established. She couldn't get it done. She got 75% of it done. She's got a stack of papers like this. She had to go to over 60 different entities to try to get a business license. I was referring back to when I opened up a bank account for baby May. We had to go get a police clearance. Now, on the surface, that sounds pretty simple, right? So we went to the police station and they sent us to 3 different places first. We had to go to the office of the treasurer, the assessor, and some other Nimrod. and we had to pay each of them 60 pesos.
Yep.
And all we did was fill out the same form: name, address, phone number, sex, age, etc. And they took our money and gave her a stamp. And so we had to collect those 3 documents, go back to the police department. They gave her the police clearance. Then we got back to the bank, opened up a bank account, and it was an all-day process.
Yeah, we did the same thing.
You know,
and then it
was
took 3 weeks to get the card.
So I can only imagine opening up a business.
Yeah.
Have fun getting the
But that's the
license.
problem. That's the
Jeez
problem with the
Louise.
Philippines. You know, is like they make it so difficult for people to open businesses. If it was easy to open a business, if it was easy to get a bank account, if it was easy to get a driver's license or an ID card, this country would move ahead quickly. But they make it so hard. People don't even try anymore.
See, what you're getting here, kids, is a little dose of reality.
Yeah,
It's not all sunshine and puppy dog tails and
No,
rainbows.
it's
Okay.
not.
And we like it here. We're not knocking it. But you need to hear this if you're coming out here just to get a little dose of reality. Okay. You're going to have some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think you and I were discussing it. If a guy doesn't have the right temperament, he should stay home.
Yeah.
If you're one to snap, hey kids, get off my lawn, one of those guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't come here.
No.
And I'm not saying it's because we don't want you here. It's because you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're just going to be one of these guys that has a friggin' meltdown
Yeah.
at McDonald's or at immigration and embarrass the rest
I've seen
of
it in
us.
immigration, especially. You know.
Stay home, guys. Go somewhere else. Lose your shit on somebody else's time, because it's very, very frustrating. I said it on your video yesterday. I call shopping an Easter egg hunt. When we go out to go shopping, we know that it's not just a one day, park your car, go inside, knock it out and come home. It sometimes takes a week to fill our refrigerator.
Yeah, it took me a month to find brake pads for my motorcycle, my front brakes. And fortunately, I've got a mechanic who's a local guy, and he searched around and eventually found them,
Yeah.
But for a while there, I'm driving around, stopping my bike with my feet, so I wore out all my shoes.
Well, I got this guy, and you've got one now too, that I can just drop my bike off with.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I just leave it with him.
Yeah.
I go, here, rock
I got
on.
my own AAA guy, and he's fantastic.
Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Let's see. Time to chill, Paul. 30 plus years in the car business and all the working hours that blow drain the life out of you. Youth span who's down, recharge, empty battery. You know what? Amen to that, brother.
Car business is a stressful business, too. You know that.
Well, yeah.
A lot of pressure.
I mean, look at me.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
It is a rough business. And it got rougher and rougher.
Turkey, well, I love Turkey, yeah. Istanbul, I've been there. I want to go back and see the place called Göbekli Tepe, which is 12,000 years old.
Old dog tag.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Yeah, so you're going to go back to Turkey?
I'd like to go there sometime. I mean, I'm interested in ancient culture, so it's got some nice things there.
Let's see. Are you enjoying your pension? I really do.
I don't get a pension.
Well, it's Social Security.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Let's see. Steady Eddie. This guy named Steady Eddie got to say, the Philippine cruise ship is a great idea. Lots of human capital around, beautiful nature, government needing tax money, and lots of tourists and deep pockets.
Yeah, I want to introduce people from other countries to the Philippines. And we could take people to Palawan, which is very difficult to get here. Literally, you could just anchor the ship, half a mile off the coast and tender people ashore, have a great day, pump money into the economy, and then get back on the ship and, sail away.
I think the Philippines is its own worst enemy.
Yeah, it is.
With all the
It is for
bureaucracy
sure.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all these guys like you with an innovation like that would do nothing but employ people, drag tourists in here, have them empty their pockets for 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Go home happy and with a bunch of pictures that everybody else gets to see, and then they want to come to it. And it just perpetuates itself. And for some reason, they don't.
Well, the thing is, though, before the pandemic ever hit, the ships never came here anyway.
Why is that?
The same reason, the bureaucracy and stuff. Like I was on ships, like who was on a world cruise, you're going all the way around the world. They might stop in one port on the Philippines on their way, around the world, but nobody was actually, opening up this market at all because they made it too difficult. Too many regulations and stuff, and taxes and fees and this, that, and the other thing. They said, don't bother with it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't buy one of those things. And
first of all, they're not cool.
No,
not cool.
Bud's actually not that happy with his.
Yeah,
I talked to him. I would get a car.
Yeah,
I would get a used car, And that's in my future. If I stay here, that's going to be in my future. Not because I need air conditioning, but because of just safety issues.
I think I'd like to have a car and driver. Like,
Yep.
guy's got his own car, and at least he's on call.
Yeah. Yeah. There's options here. We actually wouldn't have to buy a car, someone suggested.
Yeah.
We could find a guy with a car and just rent him in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
And
He's just on call.
There'd be a way to go. Hello from Sacramento.
Wow.
Thanks, Redneck.
Look this up when you get here.
Burns and Allen, yeah.
That's a little before our time. Yeah, Soup Nazi. Yeah, Soup Nazi. That was a good one.
Let's see. Are you guys? Yep, we are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I got it.
Yep. It came
Hoping to
really
get the rest
fast.
of it, the 2,000 total.
Hail the chicken is right.
Yeah.
May got me made me some shirts that's got the chicken on it. I forgot to wear it. Oh, here we go. Okay, we got the football update. See, these guys are awesome. We get this is kind of like a newscast, All we need now is a weather report. We're all set. I appreciate everybody coming along. We've got 386 people. Holy smokes, that's a lot of people.
Wow.
Let's see. Coming in, I said this. I'm going to invade the camp again. I don't know anything about that, but keep us posted.
Yeah.
We'll find out a day afterwards. Why is my drink fizzing? It's famous people water. Hey, thank you, Redneck. We will have a drink on you. Appreciate you. The charcoal room at Palace Station. You know what? You're absolutely right. And I'll give you another hot tip, if you will. I don't know if it's the same because it's been forever since I've been there. But of all places in Vegas, and I lived there for over 30 years, the best steakhouse was in the craziest place, Circus.
I stayed there.
And Circus was this goofy kind of like kid zone place, You wouldn't think of it. But my friend back in the day, back in the 90s, he ran the RV park over there. And he comped me and my wife one time to go to the steakhouse. And it was the best steak and lobster I'd ever eaten before or since. And I ended up taking people there and referring people there. I don't know if it's still as good as it was, but Palace Station, again, these are like the off the strip places.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of the place that has the world's best bar food, and it escapes me. It'll come to me.
Want to hear my Circus story?
I want to hear your Circus story.
Me and my wife were staying at the Circus. Like, we stayed at almost every hotel in Vegas. I took her there almost every weekend for 3 years. It was just cheap on Sunday nights.
Uh-huh.
And we get our room at Circus. We're all checked in. And we open the drapes, and a body comes flying down past the window. My wife screams, "Oh, my God." And turns out there's a bungee platform right above our room. So all night long, people are flying by screaming, "Ah!" and bouncing back up. My daughter thought it was great.
You thought it was a suicide at first, right?
And the body comes flying down. Only in Vegas.
Only in Vegas. Oh man, 2. Okay, buddy, we'll have 2 on you. Appreciate you. Oh man. Yes, thank you very much. We're very proud of baby May. She's worked really hard for the last year. How would you talk about the heat and humidity? Okay, compared to Florida, your own do's and don'ts.
It's no worse than Florida at all.
I'm not that familiar with Florida.
I was there 2 years ago in Miami for 6 weeks, and I'm definitely not. I think it's no worse here. What's so nice here is you can feel it cool off as you drive up the mountain here and get to where it's at least 10 degrees cooler, maybe more.
Maybe more. My own experience was my first year here was like record heat. It was brutal. I got dehydrated and all that kind of stuff. Since then, it's toned down. It's tapered off. I don't know if it was like an El Nino thing or whatever was going on.
It's the same in Thailand. Some people say it's really hot there, depending on where you are.
Bangkok, man, I'd walk out of my hotel room and be drenched with sweat. I never get that here. It's not that humid here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hot, but it's not that humid.
That's the thing about Vegas and St. George is like when it's 110 degrees, it's that dry heat. So you don't even sweat.
You don't. No. Your feet burn, though.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Don. We appreciate that. SNR is like that. No, we don't have SNR. I know what you're talking about. They've got that in, I think they've got it in Cebu and Angeles City and the big metropolitan kind of places, but we don't have anything like that here.
We need something like that here.
We could use it. We could use more hospitals too. They're building those.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Junior. We appreciate you being with us. This was unscheduled, but wow. Yeah, Red Fox, Richard Pryor. Those are the guys. And you know what? All people did was listen to that. And for myself personally, I would be with 3 or 4 friends. I can remember listening to Richard Pryor with my sister, who's 5 years my senior, and we were both crying. It was so funny. The first time we heard Richard Pryor.
I don't remember the last time I watched a comedian that made me actually laugh.
Oh, man.
Or even saw a movie that I actually thought was funny.
Well, I watched the old stuff, and
Yeah,
I'm just addicted to Norm Macdonald. I just think he's hysterical. The silverback. The situation with COVID is, as far as I know, in Dumaguete, we don't have any cases per se.
But apparently the Philippines is the worst in Asia.
Yeah.
But it's not here. There's
we haven't
7,000
seen
islands, so it's not here.
We haven't seen it. I guess Cebu and Manila both were in severe lockdown mode for a long time. What did you say, Colin? Oh, there you go. I don't teach, but he did.
I was doing, it's not teaching really, it's tutoring, where basically people from other countries wanted to have a casual conversation with a native English speaker. And it was a lot of fun. It was called Cambly. And I did it, that's how I survived when I first got here. But now with my YouTube channel, I'm so busy with that. I haven't taught on Cambly for about 2 months now. And so I'm still registered. I could log on anytime I want. But I do recommend that if it's somebody's coming over here, they need survival money. Like say, I need $200. You can go on Cambly and you can just crank it out and just talk to people and make $200, pay $10 an hour, and you can make your $200 if you had to. So, and they pay you every week too. I like that. They pay you by PayPal every week. They don't deduct anything. And at the end of every call, you know exactly how much money you've got in the bank. And so it's a really good company. I highly recommend it.
And one thing that I think we discussed this before, when you and I did our first interview, is for these guys to set that up prior to coming out.
Very important.
Let's go over that, please.
Anything you're going to do online, you want to set it up before you leave the country, wherever you're living, and find out how much revenue you actually got coming in, get all the bugs worked out. And that way, when you get here, you can start up, just turn on your computer and go in. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, especially with Cambly. They don't care where you live. And so, you got to get it set up before you get here, because otherwise it can be very difficult. Maybe your internet speed's not fast enough for setting things up, or sometimes for different things, they can see where you are because of your IPM or whatever it's called, and they won't let you do it because you're in the Philippines. You have to be in America. But if you register in America, then travel outside the country, it's fine. So, but that's true with many things.
Sage advice right there.
Yeah.
An example is I did a video a couple months ago about expats going broke. And one was a true example of a guy that said, I'll just do it when I get there. And when he got here, he didn't pass the test and never got on. And now he's in trouble. So, I don't give it my advice, but Mark has got firsthand experience with this. So the key, kids, I want to dwell on this a little bit because I don't want anybody to get hurt. You come over here, you're going to supplement your income by teaching or mentoring or anything online. Please, please, please set it up prior to coming out here and take it for a test drive, as we say in the car business. Take it for a run, get a check. Make sure that the bank's set up right.
Yeah,
make sure
that can be tricky
because
too.
You know what? Shit just happens, and things. If it can go wrong, it will. Just figure Murphy's law. It's just going to screw up. And so let it screw up when it doesn't matter.
That's a really
You know?
good point, though, about the bank, though. Like,
Good
you think,
Lord.
oh, I've got all set up, I've been doing it, but you haven't gotten paid yet. And then they say there's a problem with your account or whatever, you know. It can be set with a time difference. It's just a pain in the ass to call anybody, get
Yep.
things sorted out. So get it all done before you get here. And something else, we talked about this before. You have your monthly budget of what you're going to spend every month, and you know what bills you got to pay and everything, your rent and stuff. But every single month since I've been here for a year and a half. Paul's been here for over 3 years. Every month something pops up.
That's right.
Something else, like
That's
my
right.
brakes go on my motorcycle,
That's
or
right.
you know, my girlfriend needs to go to the doctor, or whatever it is. Something happens every month. So you got to factor that into your emergency money, because something's going to happen every month. It never fails.
Every time I've done a budget video, I've explained that this is my money and I have $100 in, most people call it miscellaneous. I call it the oh shit fund.
Yeah.
It's where you wake up and you go, oh shit, you know, I forgot to renew my visa. Oh no, the bike fell. Examples. So yes, and also I guess if we're talking about this kind of stuff, that whatever you think you should have in reserves as far as a safety net, double it. And then come out.
Yeah. If you're someone with good credit, you've got a credit card with like $10,000 limit, bring that with you. Don't use it for anything. That can be your health insurance.
Yeah.
Something bad happens, $10,000 goes a long way in the Philippines.
Could be your plane tickets.
Yeah, it could be your plane tickets home.
Your hotels.
Yeah, everything.
You
So
know,
keep that with you.
Look at COVID. You got to
Yeah.
quarantine in
Yeah.
an expensive hotel somewhere.
Yeah,
But
right.
you got to get home, and
Yeah.
it's going to cost you $5,000 to do it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you
there
got
you
it
go.
right there on Old Man.
And let them know you're here too.
That's
Every
right.
month, let them know you're here so that they won't, decline it.
Okay, Mark's giving us some stats here. See, we got the best guys. Guam is 1,548 miles from the Philippines.
That's a long way.
Always have a plan, and a plan B, and a plan C, and a
Right.
plan D, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to bunk those through these here. I live in a dump called England, dark and cold. But I can't wait. Come to the Philippines. We can't wait for you to get here too. Stress will kill you faster than anything. There you go, Craig. We're all going to end up in the same place one day.
Yeah.
You may as well go there happy. 8-hour flight. Okay.
That's still a long flight though, so
Yeah.
I wonder if there's someplace closer that you can use your Medicare.
Don't think so.
How far is Hawaii?
Honestly,
know.
don't know. Hello, Florida. Okay. Better yet, get a couple of them.
I want Jen to go to nursing school so she can take care of me in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I want you to special geriatrics. I'll pay for it.
I got to get the morphine connection.
Yeah.
I got to figure out where we buy that. When will they open up the Philippines? We don't know is the truthful answer, but we're figuring anywhere around June, July.
So
At least I am.
I expected Duarte would give us a call or send us a text or something, and let us know so we can book a flight and stuff.
He loves us.
Yeah.
Hello, James.
I get these messages on my phone when they're Tagalog. You get those?
What's that?
The little text messages on your phone,
Yeah.
like emergency.
Oh, yeah.
Like the volcano's going to blow up or a tsunami's coming, but it's in Tagalog. I go, I guess it's bad. I'll just stay here and go like this.
See what happens. Oh my God. Can you tell me the only panel they see in a lot of the films to be made of woven bamboo? Maybe a future video.
This country's made out of hollow blocks. That's how they build everything, hollow blocks and cement.
Oh, but I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, that is woven stuff.
Yeah.
That would be a good vlog for May because she likes to run around and do that kind of stuff. Hey, thanks for jumping in, Colin. We appreciate you, man.
I had an idea for us, Paul. Like,
Yeah.
see what the people, we got 400 something people out there, what they think about this. What if we did a video about the cockpit, the rooster, the cockfighting? It's right down the road there. Go there on Sunday. You find out like what it costs to get in, what it costs to register a, cock, and how much you can win. And I don't know if we could film it or not, but I mean, it'd be interesting because it's a big thing. It's the biggest sport in the
I've
Philippines.
never been to it.
I never have either. I'm just kind of curious, and I wonder if our viewers would be curious in seeing the biggest sport in the Philippines.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
And we could go there and
I'd be down for that.
interview them and see if our girlfriends could translate for us, and maybe get a chicken dinner.
Oh my God. Just get content, looking forward to visiting again. Plans to move in 3 or 4 years, working to save money. Right on, brother.
Yeah,
We look forward to you coming out, man. You know what? I talked about that one time. And in fact, I talked about it with Regine because there aren't, as far as I know, there's no nursing homes.
You don't need them.
here,
Like
right?
you can hire a nurse, a real nurse to
come
live
in.
with
Yeah.
you and look after you 24/7 for what, $200-300 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in nursing home, you pay $1,000 a day.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're in your own home.
Yeah, you're in your own home, and I mean, you can get a really good nurse to look after you, and I mean, it's way better than in America for that. So that's something that's cheap here.
Yeah, labor is cheap here.
Labor is cheap,
anything
yeah.
that you want that like I said, like we were talking about buying a car and having a driver. The driver would be it wouldn't be an expense that you'd have to really worry about. Well, let's see. I'm thinking Social Security will go up.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Right now the dollar's going down. I moved money yesterday, and I got 47, and just seems like 2 months ago I was getting 50. So
The peso's strong.
yeah, I think it cost me. I lost $100 in buying power out here. That's what happened.
And the cost of living increases. Is like you get an extra $30 a year. It's like nothing.
Right.
That's something else about pension. If you're on pensions here from other
Good one,
countries,
Martine.
you have to have proof of life sometimes. You ever heard about that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I know.
I don't think it's with us, but with like Germans' pensions or what different countries.
Well, we have that, and I think that it's if I forget the dynamics. I looked it up, and whatever I read relieved me. And then I heard that if you're filing taxes, which is what we're going to be doing, that doesn't even come onto their radar because it's obvious that you're alive. You're filing taxes. So,
that's interesting.
But yeah, I know these guys. They do these death letters.
And
that was something I was.
And if you forget to do it, they cut off your Social Security.
That's correct.
They think you're dead, and so somebody else is collecting it for you.
That's correct.
I had that. A friend of mine happened. He was British though. It happened to him. I
think what happens is there's a false claim filed or accidentally filed that you're dead, and that's the only way that can happen. But that will be something I look into when I go back to the States. Greetings from Costa Rica.
Yeah, I've been to Costa Rica many times, and there's a lot of expats living there.
What's that like, Costa Rica?
It's hot but it's an interesting country. They're no taxes for expats. I think it's the only country in South America where they don't have an army and everybody is guaranteed a house, a home. And so it's a good place to live.
Yes, thank you, China. You know that I don't know if May sent you a personal video of that or not, but some guys like China Dave sent us some shekels, and we used it. It was designated to help some of the kids here, and we don't do a lot of that on video. We just kind of do it, and then we take pictures and send it to the donors. But I do think May made a video of the Japanese shrine when we did something up there. I think we bought them 48 backpacks and filled it up with school supplies. So that was fun. And we thank you for that too, China, because you helped us with that. Let's see. I slept my Saturday. I can't remember if I've ever done that before. Isn't that a cool feeling? I mean, to me, that's the greatest part about waking up is not having to do anything. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I wouldn't stress out the Social Security thing. I mean, can you imagine taking it's not just the senior citizens like us that would be losing our money, but think about the kids and they're outraged that their parents just got cut off. I mean, come on, think about it. You think you have problems
The thing is, it's our
yesterday.
money. It's like they took it out of our paychecks while we were working. It's our money, you know.
That's right. It's, and we're never going to get back
Yeah.
what we put into it.
Let's say you had the maximum coming, you had a good job your whole life, and you would, when you retire at 62, you would collect, say, $2,500 a month.
Mhm.
But let's say you die when you're 45 or 50, that money doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go to your family. It's like gone.
No, but
You know?
you pay it in.
Yeah, you pay it in, but nobody gets it. It's like you think you could give it, it would go to your children or something, but it doesn't. It's just gone. They keep it.
No, it's not an entitlement thing.
No, it's not.
It's something that we earned.
Yeah, it's your money.
And we could be making a lot more. If they had just invested our Social Security at 3%, we would be getting more than double of what we're getting.
Or
And instead, they rated it. And I think under Reagan, I can't remember.
yeah, there was.
But they rated it, and the whole thing got screwed.
Yeah, it used to be like in a bank account, but then they decided they could use it for other things and pay us back. But one of the presidents, I can't remember if it was Bill Clinton or Barack Obama or whoever it was, but they had an idea about you giving people the option of letting you invest your Social Security in the stock market. And there was all this, oh, that's a bad idea. But
I'd have gone for that.
yeah, we would make so much money if they'd done that. And they were going to have like certain stocks. It was going to be like a whole stock market, but like blue chip stocks, and you put it in there. I would be so happy. I would just think how much money we made just during the Trump administration. Everybody thought it was going to tank, and it went way up. Even during Obama's, it went up the whole time. So we would have made a lot of money.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
And they tanked that. I just said it was a terrible idea.
Yeah. So we not only did we pay into it, but it was like uninvested.
Oh yeah, zero interest. Yeah, zero.
It's negative territory.
Well, yeah. So.
There's less in it. The only reason it's going bankrupt is because they spent it.
No, bailout box is a whole separate thing. It goes through bailout or whatever. It's a whole company. They do the shipping.
LBC is what I know, and then there's a Roadrunner and some other places.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I used my mother sent me a box with UPS. It took 2 months to get here. It's supposed to be 4 days, and for a little box, like 1 foot square, they charge her $500. So do not send anything here, FedEx or UPS. Maybe a letter, but not a box. It'll cost you a fortune.
Craig's got the answer. The Amazon drivers should be giving vaccinations.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion. Yeah, we're going to be last.
Yeah.
We'll follow Thailand, I think, because that's kind of how it goes. Thailand will do it, and then the Philippines will follow them. God bless you. Come on down, Dan.
I wonder if we would be able to go, like, let's say Vietnam or Thailand had all together and they're vaccinating people. If you're able to fly to a country to get a vaccine, if they'd even let you in, if that was your reason for going there.
I don't know.
Like I know in America, people are saying
that
they say they're in Florida and they can't get a vaccine because it's too busy. They're driving to Georgia or wherever, and they're saying, "Oh, we don't want you to come here and do that." So I'm wondering if there's any kind of a vaccine tourism will pop up.
I don't know, but that's a very good point. Maybe these guys can let us know. Where are you guys in the Philippines? We're on the island of Negros Oriental and Dumaguete, which is, I believe, the capital. And then we live up the road from Dumaguete, or up the hill, if you will, in a place called Valencia. Let's see. Tomorrow I'm going to get an application for a passport so I can come to the Philippines and check out. Right on. Get that passport, man. You do that at the post office, right?
Yep. So easy there compared to here.
Thank you very much, Fisher. We appreciate you guys coming on. What I like to do on these streams is we like to talk a little bit, especially when I've got someone interesting like Mark that's actually got something to say, and just kind of let you guys know what we're doing, what we're up to, how it's going. Like to give you the ugly end of the stick as well as the nice one too. Should I tell you what you can be up against or what can go wrong? Take the shine off the dime is what I like to say, because I think it gets people can get the impression that they're going to come here and they're going to land on a white sand beach and young women are going to be throwing themselves at them, and that's not the case. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we don't have all the answers, but we just want to give you our honest opinion of our experience.
That's right.
And what's happened to us. You've been here longer than me. I've been here for a year and a half, but that's all we got to offer you, and we'll just give you tell it like it is.
And what happened to me is different than what happened to Mark, because we're two different guys, with two different methods of operation. So, and I'm sure what happens to you will be different too. some guys come out here, and I know one guy that's a really nice guy, nice looking guy, fit guy. He can't meet a woman to save his life. And there's other guys that have got 3 girlfriends in 2 weeks. So
you got to admit that, like, you and I are like the dream case scenario coming out here. Like, it all just worked out really well for both of us. I mean, for me especially. I mean, I couldn't have dreamed that it would work out this well for me being here.
But it did not come that easy at first.
There were some bumps in the road for sure.
There was a lot of times where there was self-doubt and a little bit of, did I do the wrong thing, the right thing?
Yeah.
Why am I here? And I'm not sure about this. But you know what? You just soldier on. And I think deep down inside, you do know if it's right or wrong. And you can't let the little nicky-nacky stuff discourage it. Mark, what did you do before retirement?
Worked on cruise ships for 35 years.
He's got a channel. Tell him about your channel.
Yeah, my channel is Every Man Has a Story. Every Man Has a Story. And I talk all about that. I worked on cruise ships most of my life. I was in entertainment, production stage manager. And then between cruise ships, I used to sell cars later on in my career because it's an easy way to make some money. And they'd always hire you. So I do that. If I had like 2 or 3 months between cruise ships, I would sell cars. I like everything. I'm open to all kinds of music.
I like the 60s stuff.
Yeah, 60s, 70s. 70s was the best, I think, yeah.
We appreciate that, Todd. Thank you very much.
Nobody's ever used wisdom in a sentence with me before, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? Mike's a truck driver out there in the US of A. God bless you, Mike. I'm doing good, buddy.
My father used to manage a Peterbilt dealership.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, YouTube, Netflix, keep entertained us, send us camps. Yeah. Stick to internet marketing even after. Well, yeah, Kevin, if that's your deal, just understand that the internet is shaky. This morning we had a brownout. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, last night. We were out last night. It was out most of the night.
It was?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I was asleep.
Most of the night it was out.
But I woke up about 4 or 5 in the morning this morning, and there was no electricity.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I know a guy here, though, that's doing internet marketing and web design. He made like 15 grand in 1 month. So there's guys making, he's a young guy in his 30s. So if you have the skills, you can make money anywhere, as long as you got your computer with you.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be here, Philippines.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're one of those guys that's working for Google or working for a big company and you're one of their managers and you can just get your job done from home, then why not come here and hang out?
Yeah.
Again, all you need is a good connection, right?
That's right.
Mention a good business. I reward them for good service.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is a place. I know what you're saying, right? The problem with that is it's been my experience that I can roll into even an established place and they can have a bad day.
Yeah.
And so none of these places out here, can I tell you, are 100%. The only place that I've been to where it's been consistent is called Silban, which is a Korean restaurant out by the airport. And that's just been very consistent, good service, all that happy stuff. Semi-retirement. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea to look at a lot of places.
Idea.
Yeah, check out a bunch of places. Even though we were specialized in the Philippines, we look at other places. Like there's lots of good places to retire. And I've heard good things about Colombia. I've heard good things about Cambodia too.
I think a lot of guys that are living out here now, especially because we're getting antsy because of COVID, are looking to kind of do that in reverse.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, and I know Mark's going to do it, and I'm going to do it. But of course, I want to go to America. I got things to do there. But once that's over and done with, I've already bounced into Vietnam. I've already bounced into Indonesia. I've already made my assessments of that. I've lived in Thailand, so I know it's there. My next step will be Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, you funny you say that. I was exactly going to say that too. I've been to Kuala Lumpur myself, but only for 1 day on a ship. But I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
About Malaysia.
I know the guys want to go there because it's multicultural. The cost of living, from what I understand, is on par with what we're doing here. Whether that's true or not remains to
Infrastructure's
be
better.
seen. Infrastructure is a lot better. Food is more diverse. People are more diverse, and so that might be where I end
It's
up.
not far either.
No, I might just live there. I don't know if it's that good, you know. Let's see. Reynolds, I am a gay woman. How is that seen there? Are there any lesbians around? Well, I appreciate the super chat. I actually do know several gay women here that are foreigners, and they love it here. There is very, very, very little judgment here. There is very, very, very little prejudice here.
Yeah, especially for gays.
Especially for gays and lesbians.
I worked on cruise ships with a lot of Filipinos, and if you went to the crew bar and there was a gay couple, gay or lesbian, and a couple, nobody thought anything about it at all. So it was very, they could be holding hands and nobody cared. And so I think if you come here, you will find you won't be discriminated against. And there are, I'm sure there's the same percentage of gay women here as there are in America. So, I'm sure you can find somebody.
Baby May absolutely adores all of our gay friends. She just adores them. Lady boys, lesbians. We've done interviews with them. If you want to check those out, Don. And they have the usual dilemmas, if you will, growing up of being bullied by kids and whatnot for being different. But that's kids.
Yeah.
But when you're an adult out here, I know several women that are, where are they from? I forget what their origin country is, but they love it out here. And again, it's very accepting and no aggravation whatsoever.
Yeah, gender is fluid, and they don't have a problem with that.
Not at all. Not at all. So come on out. Okay, well that's a good.
There's
that's
a lot of guys
thought.
do that. A lot of guys do that. That's fine to just visit.
In fact, I guess the sage wisdom is to come out and tap around for a few months and see if you like it, and take a vacation here. But don't do it too. Again, this is sounding like advice, I guess, but a 2-week vacation doesn't make sense to me where you stay at a resort because you're not getting the real feel.
No.
But if you came out here for 2 or 3 months, if your budget and your timeline allowed that, and you rented a place and went through all the drill and found out what it really was, the real experience, that would seal the deal or break it, for you.
That's true with any country.
No,
they do. They do.
They specialize in bureaucracy. About retirement, Phil. They lived in the U.S. age 14, been here 41 years, never had a chance to visit. You guys know more than me. Did you move to the U.S. from here? I guess is my question.
No.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You could, I'll tell you one thing that might work with that, like to pay your utility bill here. You can't pay it online. You can't send them a check. You got to go down there, and people will be sitting there, like 100 people waiting in line to go pay their utility bill. You could have someone that did things like that, like paid bills for people, obviously trustworthy. And like, for example, here, the owners of our apartment complex, like we get charged for utilities, but we don't pay it ourselves. It's in our rent. But she has to pay like $15,000 pesos every month, and she's got to go stand in line and wait. So maybe if there was a business where this person would go down there and pay your bill for you, you wouldn't have to hassle with it. There's several bills like that. You have to pay them to the government and other lines. So maybe that would work. I don't know.
I agree because a friend of mine, his girlfriend, he just bought her a scooter, and he wants her to be legal, so he wants her to have a driver's license. And we mentioned earlier in the little live stream about our friend that had to go get the business license and never got it done. Well, he's paying another friend of mine, and we're going to call this friend Mr. X, who's a fixer. And he's given this Mr. X a 10,000 pesos, $200 to take. Well, but out of that 10,000, paying some of the fees and whatnot. But to get a driver's license, this woman has to get a blood test because that's got to show up on the thing. And that sounds simple, but wait, get the appointment. So the fixer is setting up the appointment, and waiting for the doctor to show up and what time and nailing that down.
Yeah. And you
So they
can't
don't
call the
spend-
doctor and make an appointment. You
No.
got to go there.
So the fixer's doing that. So that type of business is just might take off.
Almost
I mean, if
everybody
you-
I talk to who's got a driver's license here use the fixer because it's just too much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So that's essentially what he's saying is
Yeah.
be a fixer.
Yeah, our neighbor did. Him and his girlfriend got their driver's license. They paid $100 each. But they had to go all the way to Balawan, which is like an hour and a half drive from here. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, and go in the back door and all this shit to get it done. But they got their driver's license, you know.
Hindsight being 2020, it took me 9 days to get a driver's license. So I would have just used hindsight 2020. I'd have used a fixer.
So she got a driver's license, Philippine?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, took me 9 days, but I got it. Yeah. The only reason that I thought a donut thing would be, again, our outlook on this whole business thing is not to make money, but to have a purpose.
Yeah.
So if you like making pies, if you like making donuts, if you like cooking that kind of stuff, and you want to peddle it out the back door, then rock on. But to open up a store, pay rent, air conditioning, employees, insurance, licenses, all to sell donuts, because there's already a zillion people
Like
out
I know
here
guys
that
that
are
open
doing it
dive
better
shops
than
here
you.
because they love diving.
Yeah.
And so they're happy. But,
Yeah.
But they're still struggling, though. They're having a hard time.
Yeah. How's Simon doing? Is he
He's
doing
getting by, but he's
okay?
got a little restaurant there that's kind of like keeping the doors open, you know, bringing enough money, and he's really pushing it. Plus, he's right by Apple Island, but he's struggling. You know,
Yeah.
it's not hard.
And he's a good businessman.
Very good
He's one of these
businessman.
guys
Yeah.
that's present.
He's
you
there
know?
every day.
He's
Yeah.
on it.
Every
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. Fred Flintstone breaks.
Yeah.
No
No.
ancient structures that I know of. None of that.
You'd think there would be from the Spanish, but there are. I'm sure there are in other islands. I haven't seen any here.
All right. Where am I here? Right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. If I leave my job, I'll get a small pension. It's not enough to live in my country, Trinidad, but maybe I can work in the Philippines. Yeah.
You work
Well,
here, you're not going to make any money.
Unless you're working online, like we talked
Even if
about.
you're a
and
brain
got it set
surgeon, you're
up.
not going to make any money here. The wages are so low.
Southern Mindanao
Yeah.
is probably the most dangerous.
But I was in Mindanao. I went from all the way down to Pagadian. I had no trouble at all. But I think it's where you go and how you act. There's places that are dangerous.
So I'm going to click through some of these guys because we're going to wrap this up in about 12 minutes.
Yeah.
11:15. We got things to do, and I'm sure you guys do too. Thank you for coming along for the ride today, guys. We appreciate it. This was not planned, but we did it anyway. Yeah, so you got a driver. See, it's like 6,000 pesos a month, so that's worth it. You know, rent.
Even if I go back to America, I would rent. I'm a renter. I'm also thinking, for cars, I think I would. Well,
I'm unemployed. I live with my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one time George was being honest.
yeah. Remember when the episode when you decided to do the opposite of what
That was it.
That was it. Yeah, it worked.
The girl's like, really?
Yeah.
And went home with him.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, our best guess is I'm gonna stick with July.
It wouldn't be any worth to you at all if I guess.
The chili dog, yeah. An old dog in the snow is a chili dog.
So my sister lives in Charleston. Beautiful there.
Yeah, the whole place is like that.
Yeah.
The whole place is like that, sir. I sold swimming pools by the time we were there. Very stressful. Yeah, Ellis Island. Oh, yeah, Ellis Island. They did have good prime rib. I was there. I forgot all about Ellis Island. But I worked when I first got my first gig there in like 89. That's where everybody went from my first job. So I would go over there with them. Yeah, you can. It should be on my YouTube channel, I think. But it's PMCGILL5 @gmail.
I put it in the
All
descriptions of all
lowercase.
my videos so you can
Yeah, I
me.
know. I'm not that sharp.
Mhm.
All right. So Jeffrey enjoys your channel.
Well, thanks, Jeffrey. I don't do circuses anymore, I think, because of animals. I don't.
Great show. Thank you, Joe Bananas. Peace out to you guys. All right, so we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you for coming over. Golden Steer. Yeah, remember the Golden Steer? So I'm trying to get through all these as fast as possible, kids. Aces and Ales. I don't know where that is. No.
I don't know. I might disagree with that. I know some guys that have bought their motorcycles here because they're expensive here, and there's no selection. If you've got a bike you really like say a Triumph or something, and you really you're going to be here, it might be worthwhile. I don't know.
Okay. I've heard that you can't do it without it being prohibitively expensive, car or a bike. It would have to come in parts. So I don't know. That would be something to research.
You see them here, though. See these guys, they're Harleys and they're big bikes. And
I think they buy those out of Manila or Cebu, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes,
They're
I agree
overpriced,
with
though,
this. I agree with this. You know what? I was married the entire time. Not the entire time, but I was married. And did I ever score with a female customer? The answer is no. I would tell you honestly if I did. I did have some offers, if you will, but I never took them up on it because I took my marriage seriously.
He was a genius.
Funny. Yeah. So we're going to blaze through these kids. I'm not going to get to everybody. So if there's anybody that I haven't talked to or said hello or shown your comment, it's not because I don't want to. It's simply because we're running out of time.
But after the live stream is over, Paul will write each of you a personal thank you note, and you should be getting it sometime next year.
Yeah, it'll be coming out in the U.S. I'll be sending it out in the mail. Oh, gosh. You're 52 years old, live watching you with your channels. I hope one day I can go to the Philippines. Well, you know what? There's nothing that either one of us enjoy more, I don't think, than meeting people that we see on the show.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah.
We
buy
really
a coffee,
do.
have a beer, whatever you want.
Yep. And the coffee's on us.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Todd Sellers. We appreciate that. That's a good question.
Cremation usually.
It's primarily cremated, yeah. And some people want to ship the body and whatnot, but they stay buried here.
It's way cheaper than.
It's just the cost is just prohibitive. All right, kids. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3. We're going to say bye-bye. And thank you guys for all coming along and joining us.
Thanks, guys.
And God bless all of you. Stay safe. Stay happy. And let us know when things open up, will you?
Yeah.
All right.